Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I cannot believe that it is over half the year already. Like 2022 has just been such a blur in some ways. And I saw some other people doing this. Like I know on the booktube side of things, there's the mid-year book freakout tag. And then some other people, they're just checking in with either their quarterly or their yearly goals. And I decided to take just a few minutes today to just talk about my check-in with my goals, because I set quite a few for myself, and while I don't think they're fully unattainable, I think I severely underestimated my ability to manage things this year. So with that said, let's talk about the goals I set out for myself and how I'm doing with them. So the first thing is that we're going to talk about some of my general life goals. And with that in mind, I do have to say that this is where things got a little bit wonky over the last couple of months. So for starters, I ended up going back to school, as I've been saying, since last June. And while I have my master's degree, I did not have all the right credits in order to pursue my licensure. In the state of Pennsylvania, I am working towards my LPC, or my Licensed Professional Counseling Certificate. And that would entail me to be able to practice counseling on my own, to be able to get insured with people, to go the whole 9 yards. And I need to have specific credits on my transcript in order to do that. So I went back to school. And because of that, this entire year from January to December meant that I had to start accruing internship hours. And I need 600 between May and December. When I started making a lot of my goals, I assumed that I would have enough time during the summer to balance a lot of things and to kind of rejuvenate and feel like, oh, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. However, I will definitely say that because of how taxing my internship is, and not just the job itself, but also the fact that I am adding more clients onto my caseload than I had previously. I'm juggling and struggling with the interactions with clients and their no-shows, because again, I have to get so many hours. So when people don't show up or cancel on me, I no longer have those hours towards my internship, and that weighs on my mind quite a lot. And I'm constantly working. So even though I'm currently maintaining a 40-hour schedule and I do have some downtime even, I'm still always on the go with this, because I need to make sure that I'm always, if I'm not doing my job, I'm doing internship hours. But that is all to say that it's been a lot more taxing than I really anticipated. I thought it was going to be breezy because I do this for a living to begin with. I'm already a counselor. I'm just not a licensed counselor. But there's so many more things involved with it that I didn't expect it. So when I'm talking about all my goals, that is always on the forefront of my mind. So when I look at the goals that I have, the first one was to do my practicum and internship and get my requirements for my LPC done with. And I am happy to say that I'm making progress. Now, the practicum is done officially, and now I'm completely just working on my internship. And I'm almost at 200 hours. So that means I need 400 hours from August through December, which, to be honest, isn't too bad, all things considered. But that direct time is the time that I'm really trying to focus on and amp up. So I'm pretty much doing anything and everything I can to gain more clients or gain intakes and do all that kind of stuff, because I am starting to get to that point where there's so many no-shows that I might fall behind on the direct hours. I'm also hoping that come the fall time, because for whatever reason in the summer, mental health kind of takes a backseat over, and everybody's feeling better. But come the fall, people are starting to get back into a routine and get into counseling again. So I'm hoping, worst case scenario, come September, my clients will start being regular again. So far, nothing to complain with, but it's definitely taxing. I'm also currently working on the hours during my job. So my 40 hours a week that I'm getting to do, I'm also getting supervision for that. And I'm currently on track to finish that come December as well. So right now, a lot of the big pieces are finalizing so that I can apply for licensure. The next biggest thing would be my exam, which I am taking in October. And that is what's kind of terrifying me. So I am studying for that. That is the biggest piece of this whole year. And I'm keeping up with it right now. So it's going well, and I'm currently on track to meet that goal for the year. Now, some of my other life goals, there was two things that I wanted to work on for myself. The first was to do some shadow work. So the best equivalent for shadow work in the spiritual world would be kind of looking at your inner child and healing the wounds from your childhood. And that is something that I wanted to start doing because there is quite a lot that I feel like I should work out. You know, maybe it's not the most traumatic things all the time, but just the little things that I still carry with me. And that is something I wanted to do. Now, I haven't done a lot of that work on my own like I intended to, but I have started talking to someone to work through all of that, and that is going well. That just started recently, so I'm on track to to be able to complete that goal too. Maybe I won't complete that goal this year, but just to start it was like what I wanted to do, and I'm now doing that. Additionally, for my own self-awareness, I wanted to be more mindful of the words and responses that I have, because I realize that sometimes I don't really have this problem in my own like doing therapy with clients, but when my own personal life, I sometimes will like jump the gun or not think things through, and I can end up being unintentionally hurtful, which ends up sucking because then, you know, I can't take back that hurt that I did, even though my intentions might have been fine. Like sometimes people don't have to accept the intention behind it. It's just what happens. So I really wanted to make sure that I am trying to be more mindful and maybe slowing down my responses and not just jumping the gun with things. And while I still think I have more work to do in some aspects, I think I am starting to slow down and be able to do that better. So, you know, it takes a while to break a habit, but I'm getting a little bit of momentum. And then lastly, I had some financial goals for my personal life, and there are three. So the first one was in 2025, I really want to go to Ireland. In August of 2025, it will be my 10-year anniversary of being married to my husband, and we are both very Irish, and I'm trying to reconnect with my Irish roots and learn more about the culture, and I would love to go visit there and do some more like ceremonies and renewing our vows. So I have been saving, and I have a little bit of money. It's nothing substantial yet. Like it's not a couple $1,000s that I might need, but it's getting there. You know, I'm putting what I can aside, and the best thing I will hope for is I can make it happen because I'm saving money now. And worst case scenario, we don't get to go to Ireland, but I will use that money and do something that's meaningful for both of us for our 10-year anniversary. So I'm happy that I am saving for that. That is something that's going on currently. I also wanted to pay down our credit cards. We have a little bit of credit cards that we have because of house things that we needed and bought. So that's going well. I mean, that's kind of an ongoing thing, but I tend to pay them all off this year, but I feel like I can get them down. So I'm happy that we're making progress on that. And then the last thing was to save for a new house. So we have a goal within the next 3 to 5 years of moving out of this house. It is serving us well for now, but it's not someplace that we want to stay. Our goal was to actually start saving for the new house so that we can put a good down payment on it when it comes time. And we have not started that yet. Best of intentions were set, but neither me or my husband have actually put into that. So that is something that maybe we should really get going with. But, you know, these things happen. So that's how that is. You know, whatever. So those are all my life goals. So let's pump into the reading goals, and I will refer you to my video if you're interested in kind of hearing my breakdown of those from the end of 2021. So the first reading goal, actually I really only had 2 reading goals. So I mean, you know, it's not the worst. But the first one was just to read 52 books in the year. And as of now, I've completed 23 books. So I think Goodreads said that I would be 6 books behind right now, and I'm currently in the middle of a few. There's definitely been months this year where I'm reading a ton, and then other months where I just can't concentrate on things for various reasons. My life has definitely been up and down. So I'm not really mad about being where I'm at. Last year, I pretty much always set 52 books just because I think I could read that much in a year. But last year was the first year in a while that I hadn't met it. And I think because of school and just everything going on and my anxiety spiking, it made sense. So the fact that I'm already like surpassing where I was last year just makes me feel good. And I think I can easily finish the 52 this year, if not maybe a little bit more as my internship starts to end. And then my second reading goal was to finish 5 big books total. So I didn't really care what books they were, but they had to be over 500 pages. So out of the 5, I read 3. So I'm more than halfway there. I finished the Serpent and Dove trilogy. I finished Blood and Honey, and I finished Gods and Monsters, and both of those books were over 500 pages. So they count for this. And then I also read the first book in the Poppy War series, The Poppy War, and that was also over 500 pages. And then I had to laugh at myself because Twilight was almost 500 pages. It is 498, so I'm not going to count it in my goal for this because it was 2 pages short, and I'm going to be a stickler that it has to be over 500 pages. So there you have it. And then lastly, my writing goals. How have I been doing with my writing goals? This is where we get to some fun stuff, and I definitely think where my internship and my mental health has played the biggest factor. So the first goal that I wanted to complete, I did break down into some sub goals, but that was to finish my edits on Prophecy Project, complete my query letter, complete my synopsis, and query. And I am so happy to report that I did that all. It took me a little bit longer to get into the year to actually do it, but by April, I had submitted everything and I started querying. So as of now, I am currently on my second round of queries. I believe I sent out 18 this round, and I've gotten 2 rejections so far from that 18. And, you know, it's all a matter of the game. Maybe something will come out of the querying. I'm still relatively new, and I've only really done about 40 agents total. So there's a lot more people that can be queried. So that is Prophecy Project. The next goals that I had was really to kind of move along with other projects. So the first one was to finish my rom-com, which is my co-written project with Caitlin. And we are not finished yet. We're still writing it, and to be honest, we only have, I think, 6 chapters left to write. So we will finish this year. That goal will definitely be kaput at some point, but it is slower just because of where things have happened in our lives. Kate got a new job. I started my internship, so it's just kind of hard to coordinate sometimes, but it is something we're still writing together. The second goal was to finish Project Demetria, which is my other co-written fantasy dystopian with Kate. And I definitely had the best of intentions with that. I don't know if we are going to get it. We have not touched Demetria at all this year because we were going to complete the rom-com first and then go back to Demetria as our palate cleanser, and we haven't finished rom-com. So maybe we'll write it at some point, but I don't think we're going to finish it. So we'll see how it goes in the end of the year. The next goal I wanted to do was to write my vampire project. Project Vampire, whatever you want to call it. I did 1 chapter and then I haven't touched it again. I love that chapter and I think I'm going to love this project, but I decided to put that on the back burner in order to focus on some other things because I think my headspace wasn't the best, and it is a darker and grittier novel. It has to deal with drug use and abusive relationships, so I wanted to be in a good headspace to write that so that I didn't bring myself down more. So as of now, I am hoping that come NaNoWriMo, that will be the novel that I'm going to focus on. My next goal was to edit Project Micah. Project Micah is a sci-fi novella that I wrote that I love, and I haven't really talked too much about it because I think I did a lot of that work in July Camp Nano 2020, and then I haven't touched it since. But Project Micah had a really good backbone. I did a lot of research during Camp Nano 2020, and now I have to go back and beef it up and do a lot of the internal thoughts and like more of just like the setting. So it's a good bones, but I need to beef that up. And that was a goal that I wanted to accomplish this year, was just to edit it once over. And I'm not saying it's off the table, but it's definitely one of the farthest things from my mind right now. And the final rating goal that I had was to review and outline Project Mermaid. So surprisingly, when I made this list, I did not say to complete Mermaid, which is kind of amazing to me because I really thought maybe I was going gung-ho. But this goal is actually really realistic and I'm still working on it. So I haven't finished this goal yet, but I am going through the process of reviewing and kind of editing some of what I've already written, so that way I can do the outline to kind of guide myself for where the novel is going to go. And I'm making notes along the way, and I'm really pacing myself so that way I can jump into it and maybe bang out the novel very quickly, because I'm pretty much at the halfway point. I'm around 40 some thousand words, and I expect this to be 100,000-ish by the time the story ends for the first draft. So overall, I'm still making progress, and I'm just very proud of myself that I didn't say like review, outline, and finish the book this year. I had some awareness when I made these goals. So overall, you know, my goals might be a lot of them, but I think I did pretty good setting good boundaries with myself this year. I do typically aim very high for the things I want to do, and I think I was more cognizant of the fact that my mental health doing an internship might not be the best. So I'm pretty proud of myself for that reason. But honestly, I am making good progress. I might not have reached everything at this point, but I'm getting there on a lot of them. So, well, I'm very excited to check in to see where I'm going to be at come December. But that's my goals. Let me know, guys, how you guys are doing. Did you set any goals this year, and have you met any of them at this point in time? Let me know down below, and until next time, I'll see you then.